This is one stone block, and this is 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and this is 1,000,000 stone blocks, all of which I'm going to be mining by hand. You see, currently our world looks like this: massive hills and big exposed caves. But today we fix that and turn it into something we can build future civilizations on. Before we do anything like that, I need to mark out a boundary for myself, otherwise I'll get overwhelmed. So I decided something sensible would be a 400 by 400 area. With that being said, we can jump down into our wool farm, and I think red wool will do. And honestly, we'll just take all of this. Now that we have the boundary to work within, it's time to clear some trees and see what this landscape has in store for us. And I guess this is as good a point as any to do the general YouTuber thing and ask you to subscribe and ring the bell, because I'd love to start live streaming more, given that this forest took me 6 hours to chop down. Dude, you cannot convince me this is not the absolute worst part of chopping down a jungle forest. There's just so many little bushes. You know what? I think this might be a little bit easier. Much better. And now that all the trees are cleared, we can actually get to the fun job of starting to dig, which requires us to drop down this hole to mine up our beacon. But I think we'll leave this iron here because it's going to be a little bit quicker if we come down into our cave and down into our iron farm. We should have a decent amount sitting in this chest here. Yeah, we've got more than enough. And I think this is the mountain that I want to start with first. So we'll just start digging down right here. Oh, and we found the cave. Yeah, this will work. And with that, we can place our beacon down, get ourselves an iron ingot, and activate haste 2. Easy as that. Oh, this is a big hole. Dude, I gotta mine all of this out. Before we start, we need some shulkers, which that's not enough. So we can grab some shulker shells and some wood to craft down into planks, into chests, and into shulker boxes. That'll do for now. So I guess it's time to dig. Yeah, so when I said it's time to dig, I did, but I might have forgotten to unpause my recording. So I made progress. Yeah, we made it oopsie. But it's fine. We'll just pretend like it didn't happen and just keep digging. You know, actually, no. Oh, that could have been bad. That could have been real bad. I'm losing a lot of time moving back and forth to my storage, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I think I'm going to get rid of all the dirt just really quickly. So if we give it a quick little... There we go. That'll save us a little bit more. Oh, hold on. I could have sworn I just saw a charge creeper over there somewhere. And apparently I did see a charge creeper, but it must have despawned. Oh, okay. What's that then? Bro, never mind the creeper. I haven't had a zombie horse spawn in this world before. How do we get this thing? I don't think I've ever encountered them, to be honest. Oh, okay. Okay. Guess we're fighting. Oh, okay. I can't use the sword. Sweeping edge. Dude, I'm getting pieced up here. Oh, okay, there goes another one. Oh, God. Okay, what's that? Is it... There's 2 left? Okay. one left. Alright, we saved this guy. Oh no, he's gonna get shot. Oh dude, aimbot, aimbot. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh god. Alright, there's only one more. Surely we got one singular skeleton. Holy bro. Right, no, we got this. We got this. Easy. Alright, we got two. How do I tame this? Turns out we need a saddle. That's fine. We just grab a couple of leads. And we can get these guys all the way home on the other side of the transformation. Sick. Oh god, right, no, creeper, creeper. No, run. Right, they're good, they're good. Well, that walk was a lot longer than it needed to be, but these guys are now finally back in the barn, and give me some name suggestions, otherwise I'm gonna call them like Bill and Ben or something. Where do I throw it? Well, actually no, I can throw the saddle in here. Okay, back to digging. Before we can get back into our digging, we're in a bit of a situation. Almost every single one of my tools is completely dead, and we've broken a couple as well. I think we broke a shovel and a pickaxe too. Luckily at home we have a bunch of spare tools, so we can take... Yeah, that shovel will do. And I'm sure in here we have a decent pickaxe. Oh, efficiency 4 and mending. So if we combine those, that'll work, and then we can chuck this stuff back. And I think I have just a little bit of netherite in here. Yeah, I get bored sometimes and just go netherite mining. But we can grab 2 of those and a couple of templates, fly down into our blacksmith, and upgrade these really quickly. And with those upgraded, we just need a couple more enchantments. So a quick flight over our base and to our villager trading hall, Woods are hard. And we can get all the enchantments we're going to need. And oof, didn't hit my head. Oh god. What is that sound? That can't possibly be good. Dude, no shot. How did... Oh god, it's every single villager I've got in here. Are you kidding me? Oh, dude. Okay. Alright. That was a much bigger side quest than I thought it was going to be, but everything is all repaired up and the tools are back in, so it's time to get back to the grind. Quick break from the time lapses. I've had to stop. Well, I paused it a little bit before anyways. You can see that I've added majority of the grass through this area, which sort of goes to show how much further I went with my digging. But we are coming up to a very, very important milestone here. You see, if we just mine one more stone, just like that. Oh, okay, our inventory is full. What do I throw out? You know, I've got so much stone. That one stone block right there is the 500,000th stone mined, and we're not even halfway. But I do think with Forever Worlds, it's really important to keep track of these milestones as they happen. So same as our first wooden pickaxe, I want to rename this in the anvil really quickly and make sure we remember this moment in thousands of days. And for now, we can just chuck it in this chest and we'll find somewhere for it later. I finished the rest of the digging since that last clip, and now I just want to take a whole bunch of grass and get a little bit more of a dopamine hit and finish off this first half of this transformation. So I'm just going to spend far too long placing down grass blocks, because this is what I like to do apparently, just this. A few thousand grass later, and we can actually start to see what the final vision is for this area. And it's starting to look pretty good. These nice rolling slopes or grassy plains, perfect for building on in a future episode, which is perfect because that's exactly what we designed it for. But the problem is that we're not even halfway done. I thought we were. I thought this mountain would be half of the project. But if we come up here, I'll open up my Lightmatica schematic for it. Oh god, and we're lagging. You can see just how much more we need to remove. Everything that's pink has to go. Yeah, there's still so much more to go. I genuinely thought that mountain was the biggest obstacle to get out of. But all this needs to come down to somewhere around here. So with all that being said, it's time to dig again. And now this isn't my first rodeo. I learned from the last one that it's much easier to remove the dirt first and then come through and mine all the stone. So the time lapse you're seeing here is another 6 hours of straight dirt mining. And to show the sheer scale of it, here's the before versus the after. Looking at all this without the grass in the way, I think we're going to need more beacons. This is such a big project. This mountain here needs to come all the way down. This slope here needs to come all the way down, and look, in the future, this whole mountain here will be coming down too. But I think with that being said, it's time to jump into the nether and try and get ourselves a few more wither skulls. So we can fly over to our nether fortress that's conveniently really close and try our luck at getting a quick couple of skulls. Oh dude, that was so much quicker than I thought. That was like 4 wither skeletons. So it turns out I'm a bit of an idiot because I have 2 skulls just sitting at home like this. I was in the nether for much longer than I want to admit and didn't get any more skulls. I can never remember, is it soil or soul sand? Honestly, I'm just going to take 4 of each just in case. But with the materials collected, we can fly all the way down into our mine, which honestly, I still use this for all of my mining operations, even though it was built around 2,000 days ago. Ride it all the way down to the bottom, and just going against the end of one of my old strip mines, we can just place down, well, not like that, that's wrong, but we can just fight it. And honestly, this is really easy. It makes it sort of cheesy, but honestly, I don't care all that much. After no sweat at all, we have ourselves another beacon, which straight away we put to good use, absolutely tearing through the next section of this project. And we have a slight problem. 2 beacons isn't quite enough to cover the entire area that we need to, and I really don't want to have to move them around. So I jump back into the nether to collect a few more wither skulls, and this happened. Yeah, that was suboptimal. So I quickly ran back home and grabbed my backup set of armor, re-geared myself from my ender chest, grabbing an extra elytra, rockets and food, as well as an entire set of tools, just for this to happen. Yeah, that's what we in the business call a skill issue. Okay, let's run it back. Yeah, it's a good thing I had all that netherite. Well, that was a much bigger setback than expected, so I think it's time for me to just put my head down, deal with the 2 beacons, and get back to grinding. Hi, really quick, sorry, interruption again. We need to pause because we've been digging. We've been digging so much, it looks like an absolute battlefield out here. But really quickly, if we just mine 1, 2, 3, do I do a 4th? I don't think I do. If we throw out this stone and find 1 more, which one? You know, this one over here looks perfect. This 1 stone right here is now the 1 millionth stone mined, which is insane. And just like before, I want to make sure we remember this in our world, because when I was designing this in Axiom, I didn't think for even a second that we'd be anywhere near 1 million stone, which sort of goes to show the dangers of planning things in creative, because it gets so easy to make these projects just absolutely blow out. But just like we did with the 500,000 stone, we'll put this up away in this chest and find somewhere later that we can put it away safely and display it in our world. If you guys have any ideas on what that should be or where that should be, I'm all ears. But I think we've had enough breaks now. It's time to really just knuckle down and get this massive grind done. So sit back, get comfy, and we're going to just run through a couple of time lapses until we can finish this off. So this is what we looked like at the start of the episode. And finally, after 3 straight weeks of doing nothing but digging, this is the final project. We have these beautiful rolling planes coming all the way down. Now don't get me wrong, there's still a little bit of unfinished edges, but that's for later when we extend the terraforming all the way down to the coast. I'm really happy with the composition of how this landscape has come, because your eye is now naturally just pulled all the way up to the mountain and you can take the whole scene in. Now that we're done with breaking blocks, I want to get started on placing some blocks. I've already started digging out where the pathway is going to branch off from, but grabbing out some of our materials, I want to take the pathway all the way down to where our future village is going to sit. And such a simple thing, but adding pathways to your world is such an easy way to connect areas and make them feel lived in. With the pathway done, the last thing I want to do is sort of tease where the village is going to go by building the front gatehouse. So I forgot to record with OBS, but you've got the very start of the archway here, and I want to build the walls extending off to either side. Walls are now in, and the last thing we need is greenery. So we need to make this feel overgrown and really lush. So if we just do a little bit of editing magic, this is more the vibe we're going for. So lots of bushes and grass and leaves everywhere to give this area a really filled in vibe as you walk into the village. With well over 1.5 million blocks mined and then a couple more added down, there's one last thing for us to do. Well, really it's for you to do. Subscribe. Okay, thank you. Bye.